My friend Matt Taibbi accepted an award the other night in Washington, D.C. for the work he did on the Twitter files, the expose that showed the nexus between the spy agencies, big tech, and big media, and how dissenting voices, dissenting journalism is all being censored now. He said, "I believe journalism began to lose its way when we lost touch with what it is we actually do. This was once more a trade than a profession. Reporters reflexively looked at things from the perspective of the general public because they were the general public. They identified with cabbies, nurses, teachers, plumbers, hardware store owners, because that tended to be where they came from. They once thought people who couldn't afford K Street lobbyists, the people who had the least representation, needed the press the most. Those audiences tend not to want special treatment because they're not getting it. They'll settle for the truth. You get that for us, we'll buy your paper. That simple deal made things easy. The story's the boss. We were supposed to follow facts wherever they led, publish anything true, and not care who was offended by it. Beginning in the 80s and 90s, journalists started imagining things from a different perspective. After all the president's men, it became fashionable career choice. More reporters started coming from Ivy Leagues or thinking they came from Ivy Leagues, which in itself is not a bad thing. But a change took hold. Journalists were soon the same people socially as those they were charged with covering. They'd gone to school with aides to presidential candidates, intelligent analysts, and Wall Street bankers. Unlike the broader audience, these people did expect a certain kind of coverage. We started to see a string of stories from their perspective telling us how hard it is to run a country, how hard the choices are.
Live from downtown Detroit, it's the No Bullshit News Hour with my main man, Charlie LeDuff.
Na 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 na. No bullshit!
It's just a breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
I'm Grace Karros, and I'm third generation of American Coney Island. People say Detroit's a comeback city. I say, where you been? We've been here for over 100 years. My family's been here on the same corner, serving our famous proprietary American Coney Island hot dog. So like always, we're keeping things fresh, updated, and new. We'd love to have you come downtown and visit us, but if you can't, you can always go to AmericanConeyIsland.com, order a Coney kit, get it delivered fresh right to your door.
This message of uplift is brought to you by business and personal wealth advisor Luke Nowacki, who reminds you that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but never enter the kingdom of God? But while you're waiting, Nowacki wants you to remember that overreaction is not a sound financial strategy. So call Luke Nowacki at 248-663-4748 for sound financial advice.
Hall Financial is putting more money in your pocket with our exclusive no-fee home loan. That's right, you pay no fees to Hall Financial. So in addition to our nearly 6,000 five-star reviews and our average 9-day turn time from application to close, you now pay no fees to Hall Financial. This is going to save you up to $2,500 in fees that you'd normally pay to the other guys. Start saving now, 866-CALL-HALL, or chat with us at callhallfirst.com.
Yeah, I'm taller. Well, welcome to the No BS News Hour, the best in national, international, state, and local news. All created on site, farm to table, no blathering bullshit. Now, Karen, we got a great program today. We're going to take you all the way to the West Bank with my old-time pal, photographer, cinematographer, Tom Dallal. Now we're going to go to Detroit's West Side. That would be Rashida Tlaib's congressional district. And let's do some national news. Trump is suing Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson to keep his name on the ballot. Sissy's not an insurrectionist. And the latest fuck up by Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, she blew it. She blew the Flint case, and as is her custom, she's blaming someone else. It's over, and I'm preparing a lawsuit.
Wow.
Because it's never over. And finally, since the Lions are making a real playoff run, we decided we needed a Lions expert to break it all down on the playoff run. So we got Joe Capola, the bread man. He does the bread around here to all the Coney Islands, a.k.a. Joey Buns.
Sounds like an expert to me.
Well, here's a taste.
You can pick guys up that aren't on other people's rosters. You got Dominican Sue sitting at home right now. We originally drafted him out of college. Call the guy up. See
Why do we need him?
Play. So, extra man on that defensive line.
They're pretty stout there.
Yeah, but what if you get an injury? Running back. Running backs keep getting hurt. Why not call the Patriots and offer a number 6 pick for Zeke Elliott? He's on a cheap contract right now. Call him
What's
up.
he getting paid?
It's like $500,000.
How the fuck does Joe know Zeke Elliott's getting paid? Come on, man. Get out of here. The bread's getting stale.
Yeah, that's the way it is. You gotta know what's going on out there.
Man, you got to know what's going on.
But how do guys know that? I mean, most guys know everything, stats, salary. I mean, how do you all remember that and you can't remember if you send you to the store for something?
That's why.
I don't know.
Is that why?
I wish people pay attention to the state, federal, and local budgets
There
like
you
that.
go.
But hey,
That's true.
That shit's boring because I like how he says we.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We like to be.
Included.
I'm guilty of that.
I don't like to be we when I'm covering shit, but Joe's going to break it down for us every week, and there's a bye next week, and as you'll see in his report later, it's a good thing. All the guys on injured reserve that need to recover up. All right, so listen, let's do it for real though. Now in international news,
Spanning the globe in search of legitimate news, we go to the map.
right there is our high-tech LED map paid for by Luke Nowacki and every other support of this program. Right in there is our next guest, Tom Dallal, world-class photographer, cinematographer, and an old friend covering the Israeli Hamas War and possibly Hezbollah. I think he's in the north. Hey, Tom, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. Thanks, Charlie. How you doing?
Dude, you told me you had like super Israeli internet there, and I can't hear shit.
I can hear you so clear. The video seemed to be a little delayed. But can you hear me okay?
Yeah, good. All right, man. So you're in the north.
So we're probably, I don't know, 60, 50 kilometers from the Lebanese border. From Haifa, you can actually see on a clear day, you can see up past.
What's the mood in the north before we get to what's going on in the Gaza Strip?
So the mood in the north, I think like the mood pretty much everywhere here is a little grim. People are, Palestinian citizens of Israel are kind of terrified. They feel very vulnerable, and they always have felt vulnerable. They've gone through phases where they feel a little bit less vulnerable, but you're living in a place where, you're a small portion of the population that was here pre-48, or 20% of the population now, but you're living among the people who took over your country, right? So that at a time like this, where people are very, people in the political echelons within Israeli politics are expressing very openly, very virulently hateful sorts of speech, and you're a tiny minority here, and you don't have, any faith that the police or anyone's going to protect you, you're very vulnerable. Now, Israeli Jews also feel very vulnerable because they've been attacked in a way that I think nobody, Jewish, Palestinian, or otherwise, anticipated, and everyone was shocked and surprised. And for them, I think it's particularly troublesome because it's not something they ever could have imagined would happen. They believed that their military could protect them from anything, and then it turns out that the people who attacked them kind of did it, with bubble gum and house fans. I mean, relatively speaking, I mean the sort of the technology at work on the other side there's disparities. Let's just say,
Yeah, like
huge disparities in
paragliders and
resources.
mopeds, and that's what you're talking. That kind of
Yeah,
technology.
exactly. And dropping, apparently, the Times reporting, they said that these guys dropped, explosives from consumer drones onto these $1 million remote cameras and communication systems and knocked them out. Really just shocking for people, for Israeli Jews in particular, but for people in general here. It's like, wow, who are these people and how did they do this?
Now the question
So
is
anyway,
just to stay up in the north there for a minute. I mean, is Hezbollah making moves? Different entity, right? There's the Shia militia in Lebanon, but with ties to Hamas. And you were in Ramallah yesterday as well, the de facto capital of the West Bank. What? Because you're a northern guy there, what's going on? Any movement? Any forces from the West Bank making noise?
Okay.
Is it? Do you got a feeling it's going to widen from the north?
So most definitely, my sense has been from the beginning of this whole calamity that that the Northern Front is something that will project this thing into a completely different dimension, among other things, because it will begin to much more seriously involve a lot of other American interests other than Biden trying to get himself reelected, out trumping Trump on, Israel right or wrong. And I think everybody's eyes are on the north and very, very concerned because Hezbollah is heavily armed. They're very experienced in warfare. They have a lot of trained people who've been fighting in Syria, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I covered, war up there in the summer of '93 and was shocked at how organized and well organized they were in keeping the media away from them and having everybody in the South sort of working to protect their interests there. I mean, that was '93, and now they've had, another 30 years to hone their military operation. In the West Bank, everything that's been going on in Gaza has allowed. There's an excellent story by your old colleague Gettleman in the Times today.
He's the best
covering this. Yeah, I mean the bottom line is that the Palestinians in the West Bank are they're extremely concerned about everything that's been happening since this last government came in, because the security czar in Netanyahu's government is basically a Kahanist. The Minister of Finance is an extremely right-wing, Smotrich, extremely right-wing. These guys are focused on settlement, right? Meaning colonization. They want to move more Israeli citizens, Israeli Jewish citizens, into the West Bank and take as many Palestinians and either squeeze them into as small a space as possible or squeeze them out. And I think the real concern now, Palestinians in the West Bank are concerned that they're going to get, forcibly displaced into Jordan.
Just real quickly, just for the West Bank, and I'm going to move over to Gaza real quick. The West Bank, I think people here tend to think that's the center of the ear when you look at the map, like the West Bank, that's the Palestinian land, but it's not exactly, is it? It's more like 200 and some settlements walled off with Israeli settlers in the middle of it, correct?
Yeah, like something in the realm of 700,000 to 800,000. Everybody talks about the occupation of the West Bank. I think it's a misnomer at this point. It's occupation plus, plus, plus. Okay, they didn't just occupy for 56 years. They occupied and they've been colonizing the place.
What
in
does
legal terms? I'm not trying to be
Tom? Don't listen, man. Keep it simple for people. Like we're back. Think of back home. We don't know a lot, right? We don't know a lot. Well, so what does occupation mean? I thought the West Bank and Gaza were for the Palestinians, and the rest of what was the Palestinian mandate is Israel. What does occupation mean?
Okay. Military occupation is what happened when the Israelis took over the Gaza Strip and the West Bank in the June 1967 war. What it requires of an occupying power, it's not on its face illegal. Okay, occupation is there are rules that govern it. Occupation is supposed to be temporary. Now, an occupying power, as the Israelis are, is required, to cut it really short and sweet, is basically required to act as a custodian while they're acting as sovereign. They are not.
Let me pause you right. That's good. Okay, we got that. Okay, so legally, by international law,
yes,
the Israelis are considered legal occupiers of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. Simple yes or no.
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's correct.
So now, taking that's really interesting. So the UN came up with the two-state solution. Mm-hmm. There were divisions. The 67 war comes, and Israel jumps all the lines for their safety, as they would say. And now they're still there. So now they're legal occupiers. I want to play you a clip. I think from Russia Today, was it? I think so. This is from a member of the Hamas, lack of a better word, ruling party, the political wing of Hamas. He's being interviewed, and let's play. And if it's not being translated in English, I will read it. Okay. So the reporter asks, many people are asking,
yes,
since you've built 500 kilometers of tunnels, why haven't you built bomb shelters where civilians can hide during bombardments? He says, we built the tunnels for protecting ourselves from being targeted and killed. These tunnels are meant to protect us from the airplanes. We are fighting from inside the tunnels. Everybody knows that 75% of the people in the Gaza Strip are refugees, says the Hamas spokesman. And it is the responsibility of the United Nations to protect them. According to the Geneva Convention, it is the responsibility of the occupation to provide them with all the services as long as they are there. So what he's saying, the Hamas spokesman to the reporter, is we built tunnels for our army. We're not responsible for protecting the Palestinians, who Hamas is and who they're hiding amongst. It's not their responsibility. It's the United Nations and it's Israel's. With thinking like that, Tom.
So look, I think, Charlie, is a strict legal matter. If the occupying power, then occupying power is an occupying power because it exercises what's called effective control. They control the borders, they control the airspace, they control anything that comes and goes, they control the waterways around the land. Basically, Gaza is like a giant closed, it's like an open air prison, okay? Putting aside Hamas, if you're an occupying power, you have enormous responsibilities to protect the civilian population occupying, okay? That is absolutely clear as the day is long in international law. That's the law of occupation. Now, why is that? This gets back to what I was saying before. An occupying power has to bear all these responsibilities so that it has to get the fuck out because it can't afford to continue doing it, right? This is designed into the policy. Okay, you want to occupy this place? You know, you kind of, it's kind of like you broke it, you bought it, you occupied it, you got to take care of it. You have to provide, you know, what's, you could summarize as a standard of good governance. You have to abide by that. Now, that's what the law says.
Okay, let's get to, that's the law. Now we're in the reality. Yeah. One morning, 1,400 Israelis get butchered in their bed. Me, I'm looking at it like that would be 6,000 people dying on 9/11. I'm not standing for that. We're going wherever Osama bin Laden is. Forget the fact that we do the illegal war in Iraq and kill 500,000 people, but I'm doing that. On the other side, you've got just naked, exposed Palestinian people, 8,000 of them, losing their lives, and there's going to be a lot more once they get to Gaza City. Just tell me from your heart, man. Not from the politics and the law and the history and you being a Palestinian American and having feelings. Is there any way but all or nothing? Like, Biden can't have it both ways. He says Israel has the right to defend itself and sends ships over there, and then he's asking for, a drawdown, pausing, humanitarian efforts. Is there? Are we just in for death here?
I think we're in for death here. We're already into a lot of death here. I think that viewed from here, I think Biden's stance has been ridiculous. And completely un-American presidential, if you look at it historically.
Explain. Explain how it's ridiculous and unpresidential.
Okay, so clearly, the Israelis are going to react, and they're going to react with extreme prejudice. I mean, we know that. That's what happens when horrible things like this happen. Okay, now as a third party outside of the immediate conflict, the role I would expect any American president to play, not to pour gasoline on the fire and to effectively enable even a more vicious response, to calm the situation. That's in Israel's interest. It's in the Palestinians' interest, and especially it's in the interest, okay, to sit half the American military between the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf. Okay. Are you still there, Charlie?
I'm here. Yeah. I'm fascinated.
And use the pulpit of the most powerful nation in the world, not to caution restraint, but to publicly, endorse revenge, doesn't make sense. It's idiotic. Frankly, I mean, I can't speak more harshly about how I'd administer this. I think it's completely irresponsible. As a sitting duck here, right, with 150,000 his buckets, 60 kilometers north of me, or 70 or whatever, just across the Lebanese border, I really need the American president to be, like stirring the pot instead of the situation.
Let me throw it in here. Israel's going to do what Israel's going to do, and it's going to react as it's going to react. And I don't know if I would react any differently. Growing up in Detroit and being very close to Palestinian people, having some Jewish blood of my own, it's very complicated. But I must agree with that. I find it sophomoric almost. If you look at 9/11, we did what we did, but you didn't see the Israelis paratroop into Damascus or into Baghdad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now we're in something we can't get out of. And now they're trying to figure out a middle ground that doesn't exist.
I mean, look, usually...
Am I wrong there? No, listen, I'm a dumb American. We're dumb. We're thick. Did what I say make sense to you there?
What makes sense? Yes, in a way it does, Charlie. I think the bottom line is that what role that the United States needs to play here is a role that will diffuse the situation in its own interest. Okay, we're not here to start World War III with Iran for us or for anyone else. It doesn't make sense. I don't think there's a win in that for anybody. Okay. It's a big country. It's a country that's fought a lot of wars, it doesn't seem wise to me.
We'll leave it at that, man. The connections are getting rough now. I know it's late there. Would you do us the honor of coming back in future days?
Anytime.
And you promise to look after yourself. I know you're a madman.
Yeah. I'm happily home. I had a real hard time getting back home last night. Israel weren't letting us cross back into Israel from the West Bank. There's 4 European journalists. We've all got press cards that would let us cross 3 different checkpoints. I mean, it's a horror show.
All right, man. Be safe. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Cheers.
Tom Dallal, one of the world's great photojournalists.
I'd like to see some of his work while he's over there, Charlie. That would be interesting to share.
Yeah, we'll get
I
it.
mean, just, images speak a lot. They're quite powerful.
Yeah. We'll bring it a little closer to home after a word from XG Service Group. Well, when it rains, the power goes out. And when the power goes out, the internet goes out. When the internet goes out, I call my friend Matt and Bernie at XG Service Group. Look at Bernie here on his hands and knees, giving it everything he's got. Look at that man crack. So busy, he forgot to wear a belt. There's Matt right there getting the board together. That's 734-245-4100 if you need Matt and Bernie to come take care of your voice over internet, your security cameras, off-campus access control, Wi-Fi, and cameras for homes and business. They'll design it for you. You got restaurants, they do drive-through systems, railroad cameras for public safety, total wireless camera systems for your home and business. Yeah, that's right. Call XG Services at 734-245-4100. I'll say this about what's going on in the college campuses. Freedom of speech, absolutely. Rashida Tlaib and carrying on and propagating bullshit that Israel bombed the hospital in Gaza. I'm glad that Congress didn't censor her. Yeah, that's what's great about this country. But I will say to the young people on the college campuses, you can feel how you feel. Do not intimidate people. And if you want to know something about your home country, then consider what's been done to the Native American. You still live on occupied land. Treaties have been signed. They have not been honored. You are occupiers. If you want to learn something, if you want to help someone near you, start focusing on that. How about that? Okay, now, I don't want to get into the big Washington debate, but, I'll talk to anybody. You know what I mean? CNN calls sometimes. I do it. Fox calls and, Rashida Tlaib is making some chops out there. It's the only Palestinian American out there. Can be very useful for international discussion. I'm not sure she's using the pulpit as well as she should. But do we have a little bit of that clip?
I don't have the clip, but I have you with Jesse.
Well, that would be the clip.
Oh, that's the clip. Okay, I thought you meant her making all the noise. Sorry. Here's the clip, Charlie.
It is a clip.
Wow.
I'm an idiot.
Charlie LeDuff is the host of No BS News Hour. Charlie, I'm sorry, my ears are still ringing, but how big of a problem is this right now?
In terms of nationally, politically, or here at home where Rashida Tlaib ostensibly works for the people? Which one?
Will you tell me at home? Because I can see how it's playing nationally. Is she popular back there?
Nobody knows who she is, man. Look, she's better known for entering legislation to rename post office. This is a much more violent city, Detroit, than Chicago is or North Philly, and we get nothing. What we get out of her is defund the police, let people out of prison, but you won't see her saying it on the street because she doesn't walk the streets. She's busy up in the Capitol screaming and hurting my ear, by the way, than she is correcting things. I should tell you, brother, this is a swing state. We have 8 of the most violent 50 cities in America, and we get butt kissed. We get this stuff. We get Israel just bombed a hospital. No leadership there. No be calm. Let's find out what happened. Lead. Try to get this thing tamped down. No, we go on the steps and we blame the Israelis. It looks like it may be Hamas. Probably. I'm not going to say. But where is that? We're not having that. We're not having any rational discussion.
So she's focused on violence in Gaza, and she doesn't give a lick about violence in her own district?
Not that I can see. And look, I knew her father. He's a good man. You know what I mean? He's like a good new American. And he called me up and called her a nut. All I know about her is she cheated on her property tax 3 times and never paid the city back. Rashida, pay back the taxes. But I grew up with Palestinians. This is an Arab center of America. There are points to be made. War should stop, but this is not the way to get it done. And she wouldn't come on my show last night because she was busy brokering a ceasefire in the Middle East. That's how you broker a ceasefire.
Yeah, she's not brokering a thing. Are you saying that Tlaib's father told you that his daughter's a nut?
Yeah, he told me she's a nut, she's a scam, that she didn't live at the address she did when she was running for office. He called me up out of the blue. I called her up and said, hey, your old man called me. What's going on with that? She goes, well, he abused me. And I'm like, this is nuts. This family's nuts, man. And so now you get to see what we live with around here.
All right, well, good luck in Detroit. I remember a couple years ago, you took me down to a tour of Detroit, and you were basically the mayor there. So maybe you should run for her seat.
Why? I get along with everybody. I don't need that seat.
That's right. Once you're in office, everybody hates you. Charlie LeDuff, thank you so much.
That's good. That was good and accurate.
So, okay, Rashida Tlaib, the Congresswoman of the 12th District of Michigan, which Southfield, large Jewish population, Dearborn, large Muslim population, Westside, Livonia, and all that is, you know, a Christian population, white Christian, but it's one of the poorest in America.
That's true.
And it encapsulates the west side of Detroit. So we thought we'd send Red there to see if anybody knew who their congressman was. This is what he came back with.
What up, though? I'm standing here on the corner of 7 Mile and Wyoming in Detroit, Michigan, which is a part of District 12. Also, we have Dearborn, which is mostly our Arab Americans. In Southfield, we have a large Jewish and Middle Eastern Indian community. In Livonia, we got the good old average Joe the plumber, or white guy, as you would say. And in Detroit, we all know it's mostly my black brothers and sisters. And all these cities make up District 12, which is the country's second brokest congressional district. And who represents that, you may say? Do you know who your congressperson represents?
Don't even know.
No.
I do not. Not really.
I believe it's Tlaib. I'm not certain.
Okay, you actually are right. It is Rashida Tlaib. And while they're trying to send almost $100 billion in foreign aid to Israel, Ukraine, and others, we're still sitting here waiting on her to represent us. But what is she on TV doing?
We're literally watching people commit genocide and killing the vast majority just like this, and we still stand by and say nothing. We will remember this, but all of you, you need to know, I swear to God, Wahyat Allah, you are on the right side of history.
Do you think she should be crying and hysterical over what's going on over there?
Crying and hysterical about what's going on here.
I wish she would put that emotion towards helping us right here at home.
So the crying segment on the television, hey, do a little bit more crying for us.
Exactly. Have some more empathy for your own right here at home.
You got to handle home first. So what I would say to her is take care of your bedroom and then lead out into the community.
She needs to address these issues, what I'm talking about, because here in the city of Detroit, everybody's going through this problem.
Every time I clock in, I'm giving the government more money to blow more shit up over there. And that's not my problem. I just want to work and go home. They need to get their shit together because I'm not with it and I'm upset about it.
Okay, all right, that's it. You know more than you let on to.
Over here ain't doing nothing but trying to give billions of dollars to Ukraine. Bitch, my rent is high. Lower my rent. Give me some more money for some food or something. I'm so mad about that. I'm really getting heated. I can barely afford to get some food for groceries. I got a pack of eggs. Them was $6. That's ridiculous. Everything is going up and they trying to crack down on certain stuff, but y'all not crack down on what need to be cracked down on.
Now, you say you cut the district, so you get to see the neighborhood nook and cranny. If you had to tell Rashida Tlaib, what would you tell her she needs to be focused and worried about?
She needs to be focused and worried about her people that's here, not people overseas that we don't know nothing about. She's making a statement for those people. Make a statement for us. Let's get us together. How can you help somebody when you ain't helping your people? So it's a lot of neighborhood people that complain about how she's not even attending the neighborhoods the way they should. They more or less worried about everything else besides what's going on right here where we at. And that's not right.
I have to agree. You heard that, Rashida?
That's not
Your
right.
district say where you at. You ain't giving a damn.
Well,
that was a good piece. But that young lady, I think, spoke for a lot of people that may not have the opportunity to. I mean, people are struggling, and they do. I don't think people are less compassionate about what's going on at the international level, but I do think that people want to feel like, okay, you care about us too, and that goes for congressional representation, presidential representation, state representation. Everybody wants to do what appears to be politically correct, but they're not doing what they're supposed to do in the positions that they were elected
You mean
to.
the hard shit?
Yeah, the tough, the what they're supposed to do. Like, you know, like everybody's going to start passing out turkeys in a minute. Like, we're not focusing on what should be focused on. They're just not.
Post office got a new name.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know,
Everyone remembers the name too.
But that's that performative stuff, you know, and it doesn't do anything to change the livelihood or the quality of life of people that you represent.
Madam Talib, your district is calling, so we'll get to some statewide news. This commercial message. No BS News Hour brought to you by Legacy Partners Insurance. Do what we've all done here. Call them 586-209-4106. They will shop for a better insurance rate for you. You will pay less and get more coverage for your home, your car, your motorcycle, your camper, your vacation cottage, all of it. They'll even help you with life insurance and Medicare. Call Legacy Insurance 586-209-4106. Have them wrap their arms around you. Be covered. Be safe.
Oh, that was cute.
Thank you. Thank you.
You ought to do voiceovers, Charlie.
We're not top 200 in America for nothing. Eat your heart out, Jake Tapper. Because now we go to statewide news. Music?
That was very good.
Spanning
Mark.
the state.
Fucking crap.
You ought to do jingles.
Gonna get Brandon in here, me. And some,
Please.
Then we just cut a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, but nothing for statewide.
We just hit something.
Okay.
Just to prove you can press a button.
Oh, I can press.
Yeah,
lots
go.
of buttons.
There you go.
Fix it in
Press
Say
a
what?
button. There you go. There you go. All right, look now.
Dumbass.
Hey, I don't
What?
like that.
That's for you.
Is it? I don't
You
like
got
that.
a LeDouche in there?
Charlie LeDouche.
You got a LeDouche?
Don't say that.
Somewhere.
See, fucking, man, you know, it'd be nice if, like, we got some as attention as, like, all the other shows you do. It's like I got it somewhere.
Shit.
Yeah. Look, there you go.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pipe shit. All right, look.
Wake up, Mark.
Look at it. He's right.
What else you got,
Damn.
Mark? This is good.
Yeah, well, yeah, take us to
What
the
else do you
roulette.
have?
That ain't funny.
That's good.
That sounds like some bullshit.
There you go. Now, wait a minute. What are you doing? Like,
This is what I was looking for.
Charlie LeDouche. Karen dumbass.
Oh, hey, tell him up. I'm
give
offended.
Give it to me again. Hit me again.
Charlie LeDouche. Karen dumbass.
Welcome to the LeDouche Dumbass Hour. All right. Listen, in state news, Donald Trump is suing Jocelyn Benson proactively, even though Benson said she would not exclude Donald Trump's name from the ballot for violating the 14th Amendment, the Civil War Amendment, saying that you shall be removed from office and not allowed to hold office if you participate in an insurrection.
Right.
Donald Trump proactively is trying to stop her from doing that, which is all very interesting to me and actually quite boring. But I would say to Madam Benson, the Secretary of State of Michigan, can you please take Janet the fuck off the voter rolls? Again, I've gotten Janet's been on the show and she's passed, very liberal, living in Texas, used to live in my house a quarter century ago. I got absentee ballot applications. They sent me her voter ID card. I sent them back. right? I called the clerk, return to sender. She's gone.
You could actually steal her identity, Charlie. I mean, if you have 2 pieces of identification, you could actually go and create everything that you need to be Janet.
I could take her voter ID card, change my gas bill into her name, and then get her social security. This is so fucked up. I keep telling you, Janet wants to be removed from the rolls, and yet what did I get? There's an election Tuesday, and Janet, to my house, got sent important notice, early voting schedule. Here are your options. Now, we called Janet. She'll come on this. She's very busy this week down there in Texas. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things going on in Texas, which we'll ask Janet about. But take Janet off the rolls. The law says 2 election cycles, 2 federal. That's a congressional, and that's a nationwide. This should have been done in 2020.
But if she's been gone for over 20 years,
it tells you.
Yeah, but that makes people question the integrity of the process. Now, it's not about fraud. It's not about any type of deliberate, but it does make you raise a brow about the integrity of the process.
Why give them a reason?
Yeah.
Like, I stand firm what went on at TCF 2020.
Right.
There was no fraud up in there. But why give people a reason to think so? It's so unfair, and that's your job, and you asked to be reelected. And I told you a bunch of times, I'm telling you now, take it off.
And I don't want people to say that that's personal, because you've actually given her credit for increasing efficiency at the Secretary of State's office. So it's not about a blanket criticism. It's about this one particular thing.
That's true. But as Matt Taibbi said it, to quote his words at the top of the show, I don't give a shit. It's true. It's true. It's a story. It's a story. Everybody want to whine and snivel and you're being mean to me. I don't give a shit.
But I want people to pay attention.
Nowhere.
I know, but I want people to pay attention. And it's not always the best to just mix up things. Just pay attention and focus.
Yeah, in my country first.
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
Native American.
But it's the same thing that you just said a few minutes ago. She has to pay attention to what's going on here.
Everybody's afraid of a Charlie Planet.
I wonder why.
Everybody, yeah, that's what you can't handle it. Can't handle
I
it.
agree with that.
So what happens when the world comes together? That's what you get.
That's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah. No, I used to protest on college campuses.
Did you?
I beamed Edwin Meese, the former, Secretary of State?
Yeah.
Under Ronald Reagan?
I don't know.
Yeah, man, he's coming to the Michigan Law School. I'm like, I don't got nothing against Meese, but shit, I'll hit him in the head with a snowball. Yeah. Power to the people. CIA off
What
the
the
campus.
fuck's going on?
Yeah, man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right. Now, in latest in Dum Dum Dana news.
Dum da dum dum. Dum da dum dum dum. Dum da dum dum. Dum da dum dum Dana.
She blew it.
Again?
It's over. She blew it. For the 3rd time, she's appealed to the Supreme Court a ruling from the undercourts. This time, they threw out Governor Rick Snyder's misdemeanor that she came up with for the Flint water poisoning. They dismissed it without hearing her argument. 3rd time in a row. We don't want to hear from you, dum-dum. Don't even want to hear from you. So what does dum-dum do? Dum-dum again blames the Supreme Court. The people need to know. The people already know. There was a great case being built. You killed it when you came into office because the former administration, Bill Schuette, the Republican, had put in an investigative team that you had a problem with way back in your days in the Wayne County prosecutor's office. You were jealous of the investigator. You got rid of it. Flint got no justice. You killed it. You restarted the investigation, came up with the very same charges, except the serious financial ones, dropped the racketeering investigation. Supreme Court threw it all out because he used a one-man grand jury, a judge, to investigate, weigh the evidence, come up with a suggestion for charges, and then charge. A judge can't do all that. That's where we have executive wing, which would be the prosecutors, the legislative, right, which is Congress or the state legislature, and the judiciary. The judiciary does not get to be the executive, i.e. the prosecutor. It's dumb.
But shouldn't she know that?
Right. So here's really what happened. When you're dumb and you don't have a lot of experience, when you get to the big leagues, you got voted homecoming queen. You know what happened? Real lawyers showed up. Real ones that win cases in the United States Supreme Court. Ones that have actually, the investigators who put the Gambinos behind bars, Trafficant behind bars, Kwame Kilpatrick behind bars. They know racketeering. They know financial crimes. You don't. Flint gets nothing. So I'm preparing the lawsuit. You said you officially announced you're dropping all charges, or you're not dropping them. The investigation's closed. Now that the investigation's closed, I want the documents that the preceding investigative team left for you on your desk that you didn't look at. It's now a closed case. I want them because those documents spell out exactly where this was going. And then we're going to find out why you couldn't get one jaywalking ticket. A city of 100,000 people was poisoned. Untold dozens of people died. And you couldn't get anything done. Man, that is dumb.
Dumbass.
Dumbass. And we ain't done.
But the residual impact of that can go on for generations. And so these people are just left with nothing, no justice, no interest, no support, no nothing.
A couple $100 check.
Pretty much, because the lawyers got all of it. I mean, so what does that mean?
Lawyers already got their check. When did people get in their check?
That's what I'm saying. That's where all the money went. But so what happens to the people of Flint?
Nothing. Fuck Flint. You're done. Nobody cares. It's over. I care. Put so much time. I finally shredded those buckets of documents. Wow. Just wow.
That's too bad. That's really too bad.
No.
I mean, especially, hold on, Charlie, let me say this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At a time when you're looking at, multi-million-dollar marketing campaign to attract people to come or stay in Michigan, and you're being shown that if you live in Michigan, it really doesn't matter, depending on where you live in
Can't
Michigan.
get a conviction, can't get the voter rolls cleaned up, can't run the nursing homes properly, can't get nothing.
Yeah, sounds appealing.
Battery plant's not opening. That was all bullshit. As we said on this program, you should have gone to hybrid cars because every auto company's dropping the EVs now.
Yeah, they are.
They lose $30,000 on every car they fucking build. Yeah, We've been telling you that.
That was premature and not thought out very well.
Fucking stupid. Joey Buns on the Lions, brought to you by ADR Consultants. ADR Consultants, experienced overseeing more than $250 million in public and construction projects since the turn of the century. They're competent. If you want to reduce your costs and increase your bottom line, you want to cut the red tape, you're going to need somebody that knows how to navigate it. That would be ADR Consultants in procurement and government compliance and information technology. ADR, smart. Get the job done right, on time, on budget. 248-318-9424. Call Barry Ellentuck for a free consultation.
Nice commercial.
I know.
You should do voiceovers.
I know. Thank you very much. Thank you, dumbass.
Say what?
All right. Now, in sports, we have the Lions are doing so well. We have a new director of football analysis, known as, given name, birth name, Joseph Coppola, like Coppola.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like no relation, probably.
Sure.
Unless they're from Hamtramck. Is Francis Ford Coppola from Hamtramck?
I think so.
Is he?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Let's say yes. It would sound
Yeah,
good.
why not?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
It's a fact.
this, like every Monday, it's even worse during Tiger season because the guy he's a sports nut. So without any further ado, the new director of football analysis for the No Bullshit News Hour, Joey Buns. There he is delivering the hot dog buns. Guy's a pro. Look at that, one-handed.
It's like the good old
Draft
days.
this guy.
Like the good old
Football
days.
Joe. There he is. Detroit Lions Joe. Breadman Joe. Quick take, Lions.
They played a good game. They had every part of the game covered except for the end zone. They couldn't get in the end zone, but they dominated the whole game.
If you can't get in the end zone, Joe,
They're kicking.
you don't dominate.
They're kicking field goals.
Missing field goals.
Missed one.
Right.
He made a 52-yarder, which was the longest in his career.
Which is a college kicker. You're not gonna get to the Super Bowl with that.
No, they always needed a kicker. They still need to address that. But he did okay. I mean, he missed the one chip shot.
Right.
The rest of the game was a good game.
I didn't go off with the pick sixes. I don't get it.
Yeah, that pick six was horrible. He was trying to throw that out of bounds and never put enough on it. He should have put that into the first row of the stands, not lob it out there to get picked off.
Who are you so wise in the ways of professional football? What's your resume?
Oh, I just followed the game, played it, Little League football, high school football, and followed the game my whole life. So
come on, the bread's getting stale. Listen, that's a pretty good draft class this year.
Oh, it is. Very good draft.
Everybody's playing.
Everybody's playing and everybody's performing.
Go ahead, list them all.
Oh, you got Branch. You got Campbell, the linebacker. You got the running back, Gibbs.
Dude, he had 189 yards from scrimmage last night.
Yeah, 154 on the ground, the touchdown, and then I think it was 38 through the air.
Look at that. Anomaly? Is this an anomaly?
No, I do.
Red's over there like, oh, Gibbs, man, he's for real. I'm like, it's the first game he showed up.
He played good last week. He had 120 yards against Baltimore last week.
That was garbage time.
No, he was the only running back.
Little trouble getting in the end zone.
Yes.
This squad.
Yes, they do. They need some help.
What
They
are
should
you
go
looking-
after Devontae Adams. Try to pick him up right now from Oakland.
Is it time to give up on Williamson? Williamson?
I'm ready to get in that position.
What's his name again?
Williams. Yeah, he runs like a deer, but he can't catch. He forgot how to catch. He was great in college, but he can't catch the ball now.
You already given up on him?
Pretty much.
What's your dream for this team this year, Joe the Bread Man?
Playoffs, at least a playoff win, would be a success.
A playoff win. You know what that reminds me of, Joe? That reminds me of an astronaut saying, if we can just get to Gary, Indiana, can we get a little hope around here? Super Bowl or nothing, Joe.
Yes, I agree. I'd love to get to the Super Bowl, but I just didn't expect it from this team at this point.
Wait a minute.
They're still developing. They're still building the team. I didn't expect them to play this good till at least next year.
You said,
and they started a year early.
You said we.
The city of Detroit.
Oh. So it's the bye week. Who's on the IR could use a little time off, Joe?
Montgomery. He's got to heal his ribs. Let's see, who else is there? A lot of them guys are banged up. The offensive line. Vitae, center. Ragnow. They're all hurt. They all got minor injuries. Let's get healthy.
I think somebody took some racks off your truck there, dude. I think they just went.
We'll see.
Go get him, man. Go run the post, bro.
That's great.
Somebody get that guy to a Lions game. That's crazy.
Charlie, you know as much about the Lions as he does too. I just want to say, the line.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, but I don't.
He's got the passion.
I don't deliver buns.
He's got the passion.
He's
I
got
love him.
He's got
I
the
think
passion.
he's great.
So let's go silver and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Joe. And remember,
whatever.
The buns are fresh at American Coney Island. All right. Next, that's your international, national, statewide, and sports news all in an hour. I know. That's why we're top 200. That's why we're growing and everyone else is dying. You can find my column on the nobsnewshour.com. Yours is coming soon.
Yep. But in the meantime, still in the Detroit news on Tuesday.
Till when?
Soon.
Till when?
Soon.
Advertise when?
Soon, Charlie.
Soon.
Think a couple more weeks.
Couple more weeks. All right. So we're our own thing.
Yeah, but that's okay, though. It's all good.
Oh, it's real good.
Yeah, it's all good.
I mean, we're live from the Holy Land. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, you're right. But, you, as usual, Charlie, from your days back in the day, you put in the time, you put in the work, and the results speak for themselves.
And take Janet's name off the voting rolls. Go Blue. Bye-bye.
See you next Thursday.